Back live on the CNN News 18 Federal Bank Primetime Studio, ladies and gentlemen. And to the story of Kamran Akmal, Harbhajan Singh post that India-Pakistan match, the comments made by Kamran Akmal not going down very, very well, not just with social media, but also with Harbhajan Singh, who put him in his place. And then Kamran Akmal apologized. But did he apologize because he really felt sorry what he said? Or was he given a big rap on the knuckles because he was helping twist a narrative that was being crafted by the other side over a long period of time, trying to create a wedge between Sikhs and Hindus in Hindustan, and his comment undoing all the work that was being done as a narrative? Now that's another question that's being asked. But overall, what's this entire thought process about mocking a player based on their religion and looking down upon them? Is this an extension of a thought continuum? Smita Prakash, Ramneek Singh Maan, Anand Ranganathan with us. Dr. Ranganathan, we'll start with you. Your thoughts?
Anand, look, I can speak on what Kamran said for 10 seconds, but I would like to speak on this for 3 minutes and 10 seconds because we can be very casual about it and just talk about it as if it just happened and one side condemned and the other said sorry and said accepted. Or we can talk about the decades, centuries old internalized bigotry. And I'll explain why. So please permit me 3 minutes because it's very important, because what happened, what Kamran did is not so important as what happened 2 days ago and we've already forgotten about it. I talk about Riyasi. Riyasi is not Rafa and so Anand, there will be no eyes on it. The lifeless cherubic face of a 2-year-old baby killed because he was identified as a Hindu will not shake the world's conscience. Terrorism has no religion and so no one will be blamed. Islamic terrorists fired at the bus fell into a gorge. The Islamists climbed down and fired at the bus wreck, at the helpless, injured Hindu pilgrims. Such cold-blooded murder is only possible when it is backed by religious doctrine that demands extermination of non-Muslims. Please understand. Anand, when will we understand the machinations of the Universal Brotherhood? These are desperate, dastardly plans hatched by the enemy state of Pakistan and aided and abetted by many in India. Or as I've said previously, the snakes and the ladders game, where the snakes are provided by Pakistan and the ladders by India. But do we expect anything else in a state where the leaders of National Conference and PDP condole the killings of terrorists like Wani? Fact is that after Modi government abrogated Article 370, these terror apologists have been itching to foment trouble, even asking China to intervene. Since the abrogation, there has been an 87% decline in stone pelting incidents, 54% decline in terror incidents, 40% decline in youth joining terror organizations, but 48% increase in ceasefire violations by Pakistan. These guys are desperate. That heartbreaking image of the 2-year-old boy T2 wrapped in a body bag will be forgotten soon, as was that heartbreaking image of a 3-year-old Sopore boy squatting on his dead grandfather that exposed the gangrenous psychology of the terror apologists not long ago. These same propagandists were tweeting pellet-ridden faces of children who were being used as human shields, but they turned their eyes away from the Riyasi or Sopore boy. Why? Because a Kashmir brutalized by Islamists and not by the fascist Hindutva state doesn't fit their narrative. How petrified are they that the world will get to know the reality of a Kashmir whose bubbling bigotry, ethnic cleansing, terrorism and religious fanaticism never enter the India narrative, where the human rights of lakhs of persecuted Dalits, Gurkhas, women, Sikhs, refugees and homosexuals were of no consequence till 370 was abrogated. But we have seen this diabolical game before, haven't we, Anand? Of how the atrocities against 500,000 Kashmiri Pandits didn't happen. Of how Ayub Pandit wasn't lynched by a jihadi mob, of how thousands never attend funerals of terrorists, of how ISIS flags were never unfurled in Jamia Masjid, of how sons of headmasters are mistaken for terrorists, of how a sitting prime minister never shook hands with the murderer Yasin Malik. Do the terror apologists know about the Nadimar massacre where 23 unsuspecting Kashmiri Hindus were lined up and shot point blank? About Girja Tiku, who was raped and cleaved into two by mechanical saw while she was alive? About BK Ganju, that Kashmir Files truthfully depicted, who hid inside a rice barrel when jihadis came looking for him, and after his Muslim neighbor informed on him, Ganju was shot dead. Rice laced with his blood was fed to his wife. Do they know about the slogans raised from mosque on Jan 19, 1990? Ralif, Salif, Galif, death to Kafirs, Pandit, leave your women behind, Nizam-e-Mustafa. These events never happened because those who clicked them never got a Pulitzer for it. Anand, you who overlook religious fanaticism and rationalize terrorism, you better sleep with one eye open tonight. Because you can run, but you cannot hide from your own conscience, and it will wake up sooner or later.
See, you've made a strong point, and I think you felt about it. But this entire thing You know, even when you talk about Kashmir, the number of Sikhs who've been killed, who were raped in Baramulla, the women who were kept in that theatre, it's all chronicled by a major who, at the behest of Liaquat Ali, did it, and this book called Raiders chronicles it. Sikhs have been the bastion of safeguarding this territory from invaders for centuries. And it's also chronicled by the British. The Battle of Saragari talks about it, 21 against 10,000. As long as there is a Sikh fighting next to you, you will never lose. That's the glory of the Sikhs and Sikhi. And to mock that, it also shows where the thought process comes from, that either they are with us or they are not us. Ramnik Man, your thoughts, and then Smita Prakash.
Yeah, so good evening, Anand. The way I look at it is, you see, they have been trying to put Sikhs down mentally, and it's going on for a while, because, you know, if you go back into time and you see the history, this 12 o'clock, this Bimari of 12 bajne wali, this started with Sardar Jassa Singh Ahluwalia. If you read about Sardar Jassa Singh Ahluwalia, he's the one who defeated Nader Shah, Ahmad Shah Abdali, Najmul Dawla. There is a whole long list of the then Mughal generals and invaders and the kings who had to face defeat by the hands of Sikhs. And they were taking away 2,200 women. There were Marathi women, Maratha women who have been taken away. There were, you know, Jats of Bharatpur who rescue the Sikhs came for. So, you know, these people over the years, if you go through the history of Sikhs, you will find have been slaughtered, cut and defeated badly by Sikhs. And they have been heavily outnumbered. You refer to the war of Saragadi, the battle of Saragadi, that's 21 to 10,000. How about Sawa Lakh to ek ladawa ta Gobind Singh na kaha? So Guru Sahib had, you know, he's unade bachan hai Guru Gobind Singh Sache Paatshah de. He said, Chidiyan naal je baaj tadama, you know, tabe Guru Gobind Singh na kaha. So Sawa Lakh naal ek ladawun wali qaum hai. They would always try to make fun of Sikhs. They try to make fun out of them. Never forget what happened in 1947. The partition of this country had essentially brought the worth of the entire state of Pakistan, then the political elite and the civil population. Read the book, I must tell you. Read the book, The Rape of Rawalpindi. You will know how Sikhs had faced the genocide, what had happened during those days. And you have the gall, you have the guts, you have the courage of coming out and say कि सरदारों को 12 बजे. You are right. सरदारां ਨੂੰ 12 ਵਜੇ नहीं छेड़ना चाहिए, because the history tells you that jado every time, you know, we were masters of guerrilla warfare. We will ambush them. We will rescue our women. We will rescue the treasures being looted by from the temples. As a matter of fact, you should always remember, it was a young 21 years old Jassa Singh Ahluwalia who had actually given nightmares to the Mughals then. Also, a 17-year-old Maharaja Ranjit Singh who brought back the doors of Somnath temple. So these people
we will talk about the glory of Sikhi and its contribution to Bharat.
Reason why.
At length, I'm way over time actually. Smita Prakash, you can nip time out of the Samosa caucus for Dr. Ranganathan eating into your time, but I have to wind up on this one. Thank you very, very much. Rawalpindi to Riyasi, there's a reality there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching.